Now, part 2 of our Batman movie bash look at Batman Returns.
And Penguin grows up to be a spiteful person. And he grows up and he gets his own underground gang.
Yep.
And then he decides to... You don't really know what his plan is at first. Like, first he kind of goes for the mayor thing, but his real plan is he really wants revenge on all of Gotham. And since his parents are already dead, he just wants to... Well, first he just wants to get revenge on all the wealthy people, right? When he breaks into the ball and... or not the ball, the masquerade party.
Yeah.
But then, he gets really crazy. He starts going a little more insane, and he just decides to kill everyone in Gotham.
But, yes, I think it's hard to say, but, when he does go to the, I don't know, what is it, the Hall of Records, do you think he sincerely is wanting to find his parents?
No, I think he was getting what he was getting access to it so he could look up the firstborns, or the children of all of them, and he would be able to get their addresses and stuff like that.
So he knew that people would be following him to the gravestone.
Well, that was before he decided to run for mayor.
Oh, right.
So, first... Well, okay, I think what it is first he has that plan in mind the whole time, and then once... but then he starts running for mayor, right? And he starts seeing people liking him, and he starts liking it. He likes people looking up to him and seeing... actual responsible people, not just crazy psychopaths underground. He likes seeing that people actually look to him as a person. And then though at the public, I don't know, what's it, the press rally or whatever, where he's just on his stage doing all the mayor stuff, and then Batman makes it look like he's saying that they're hideous people, and they start booing him and throwing stuff at him. He feels like once again like an animal, and he continues his plan to take out all the people. They all have pretty interesting character arcs and stuff through the movie. Then there's there are some problems with this movie in my mind.
Well, before we talk about your problems,
go ahead. You go.
Let me talk about what I'm going to talk about.
You go ahead.
And of course,
I don't know.
They put so much work into the costumes. Like, you have no idea. Like, Tim Burton had a great mind for this and knowing what he wanted, and they made Penguin look an actual creature. And yes, of course, it was different than Bob Kane's original Penguin, but hey, it made the name make more sense.
Yeah.
So they kept it. And Catwoman, I think she's very close to how she's portrayed in the comics. She did have there's a lot of comics where she's bonding with Batman, which is exactly what they cut close into this, because everyone, when they see this, they know that Catwoman's a villain, but they don't know how bad of a villain she is. Does she really want to hurt people, or is she just insecure? And I think Selina Kyle, she always gets to the point where she has help, and Batman's willing to help her, and then she just snaps and goes crazy, and then knows that she can never, live that life. And Batman, of course, is head over heels over her. Selina Kyle, that is. Not so much.
Oh,
what are you doing?
Hurts. Head over heels. Ow.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
So, there is a lot of romance that happens, and I, for one, like Selina Kyle way better than Vicky Vale. Just so you know. I mean, it wasn't very hard to see that wasn't going to happen. Oh, what happened to Vicky Vale? Well, you find out in the second movie.
Yeah, no. No, you don't. She just decided to go do other things or something. Okay, now it's time for me to talk about some of my personal beefs with this film. Even though I think this film is great, has great actors, and has a great overall look to it, there are a lot of problems with this film.
You think so, hey?
I am keeping a safe distance from you because if I piss you off. Woo. Anyway, there are some problems. For one thing, Catwoman's goal isn't really clear. Like
Matt Shrek.
yeah, well, no, that part's clear. But why is she all upset over Batman? I mean, first Batman saved her life, and she just decides to go after Batman. Well, why? The only reason that I can really think of is maybe it's because Batman saved her life, and in her mind that makes her feel weak and inferior. That maybe that's why, but it's never really explained. She just decides that she wants to go after Batman. Then there's Batman. Seems like he's so hesitant to even touch Catwoman. Like when he first sees her, he goes like, a woman? I mean, I think Batman has come across a fair bit of women in his time that have been breaking crimes. And I don't think Batman would ever hesitate to punch a woman if he needed to.
Well, he did. And she said,
Well, yeah, but first she says, how could you? I'm a woman. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't think Batman would ever say, I'm sorry. Ever.
really?
I mean, okay, maybe, yeah, but not to someone who just tried to attack him.
Well, okay, he is a lot more smarter than that.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing is this. Every time, he doesn't just say, like, let her go. He throws her off that building right into a kitty litter. And
it wasn't kitty litter.
In case you haven't
sand.
In case you haven't noticed, are you sure it was sand?
She says saved by kitty litter, but it was just a sand truck.
Oh,
she was joking.
Okay, but in
kitty litter's more like gravel.
Yeah. What is that? Okay.
Moving on.
In the second time that Batman and Catwoman meet, I think it's the second time, Batman's like really ready to fight. Because Catwoman has the chair and she's fighting with her whip, and then he takes her. I know there's a couple of cheesy lines like "eat lead," high fiber.
There are a lot of what
he says. High fiber.
When
he throws it to the floor or something like that.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways, but you know what? I do sense that it is very different than Batman. You're gonna get that, and it is. It is very different than the first Batman movie because it has a lot more fantasy and a lot more unbelievable things. There's just a lot. Some might call it silly, but you know what? I don't mind it as much. Some people actually really hate this movie because of its very silly nature.
I think that a lot of these lines,
ridiculous.
A lot of the lines in the movie are good, mostly because of the actors saying them. I mean, like, I can just imagine Penguin's lines being said by a bad actor. I mean, imagine instead of, you didn't invite me, so I crashed! If it was someone, I don't know, you didn't invite me, so I decided to crash the party! Or something like, I don't know. I know Penguin wouldn't sound like that, but...
How about Philip Seymour Hoffman? You didn't invite me, so I crashed. That is what I've done. That is what I've done.
You got a wife or girlfriend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find. Anyway,
I'm gonna find her.
Anyway, okay, we're not talking about Mission Impossible 3. But a lot of the lines and the dialogue probably would have been worse or bad if they were handled by a bad actor.
Right.
But since these are top actors and actresses, they are handled very well. But there are, there are just some things that are just. Oh, what was it? I remember. Oh, then there's some things that get worse from the first film.
Oh,
Commissioner Gordon, Plump Hingle.
Right, he's still in it. And the one thing he says to Batman is, "Thank you for saving the day, Batman."
I know. I mean, I felt like for just 1 second of the movie, I stepped into an Adams West cartoon only to go back into a Batman cartoon. Batman movie. Like
that's the closest he gets to Commissioner Gordon.
Thanks for saving the day, Batman.
This version is Tim never decided to give Commissioner Gordon a good relationship,
which sucks.
Which could have been useful, but that's not how it happened.
Thank goodness for Gary Oldman.
Well, thank goodness for that Christopher Nolan saw that and picked it up. But the thing is, they do a lot of good things in this movie, and the toys. I mean, you gotta love the toys. The thing that can go in the sewer, it's like a bat. What would you call it? A bat sub?
It was like a bat ski-doo or something like that. I don't know. It was kind of unique. There are some really interesting parts to it, like when Catwoman and Penguin decide they want to make it look like Batman is a criminal and have like the police go after him. And you have the time when I thought, oh, Batman is screwed when Penguin hacks into his car and starts driving it around and running into cops everywhere.
Yep.
You think, oh,
I
crap.
felt just like, oh, crap.
You know,
this is awful.
They're not going to be turning on the bat signal anytime soon unless they want him to turn himself in.
Well, hey, vigilante, right?
True.
They made him, and he gets shot at even. The cops waste no time. Like, they gave him a freaking bat signal as soon as they think he murdered someone.
Well, Chris,
bang, bang! Hold your fire! They just shoot him.
Yeah, the other only line from Commissioner Gordon in this film. Hold your fire! Sorry, just ran up a flight of stairs.
Woo! Gotta stop having those donuts.
Oh. Anyway, moving on. Christoph. Pat Hingle, if you're watching, I apologize, but you just did not do a good job at this. Some characters are dropped all together, like Harvey Dent. He was like dropped all together.
Yeah. Well, of course, Harvey Dent, the district attorney, which he would have to make an appearance.
Yeah, but
you know.
Yeah, but Billy D. Williams only played him in the first one, and that was all he got.
After saying what I'm going to say, I have to say that all the different things in this movie, yes, it's a little spooky, yes, it has a lot of fantasy in it, but it's just such a sweet movie. I
hope you mean sweet, like, oh, sweet, not, oh, this is too.
Yeah, I mean, it has so much to offer, and every time I watch this movie, I always, under anticipate it, and then I keep forgetting, and then there's more that happens, and then there's the penguins with the missiles that shoot off, and then, it has so much stuff in it that I just love, and this movie got me thinking about how I'm going to direct my movies, and how Tim Burton does a lot of dark fantasy movies, that I might want to do that too, but in my own style. And so it's all to you, Tim Burton, for making this movie to make me a believer. And I think that you guys should watch this movie, and it is going to be sweet. It's completely different than Batman. It has a lot of music. It has a lot of dark stuff to it. But hey, it's worth it.
If you can get past Batman strapping a bomb to someone's chest and throwing it in.
You just saw some dust.
He blew up. The guy blew up and set a guy on fire.
He was a tough guy.
Oh, God, he was a flippin' murderer.
He said, yeah, hit me. Hit me again.
Oh, Chris. Okay. If you can get past Batman killing people and a lot of people, then this is a good movie. Sorry, I said movie. Anyway. So yeah, I would have to
Should I give the spoiler away?
What?
Catwoman. She lives. No way. She lives.
Yeah, she lives and she's floating over a building that's not even there. In the final shot. Anyway, after seeing this movie, I must say that even though there are a lot of things in it that I don't like, that just don't fit together, I can overlook that because it has a lot of good stuff in it too. So I have to give Batman Returns 7.5 out of 10.
9 out of 10.
Really?
Yes.
I thought you were giving it a 10 out of 10. It's your favorite movie.
Well, hey, not everyone's perfect.
Oh, okay. So, remember guys, I'm Lazy99.
And I'm Chris Filmmaker 123.
Yeah. Join us next time for when we review Batman Forever. Okay, get out.